Here, we're still late afternoon, Thursday. I've been working here right next to the fire on prayer ties, dedicating the prayer ties to my prayer list right here, but also to the Navajo Dine and Hopi people. So this is how I'm dedicating my prayers. One of the ways that I'm dedicating my prayers during this fast. As you can see here, I've got 28 black prayer ties and 28 white prayer ties finished. I will continue next to do 28 yellows and then 28 reds. Why 28? I don't know, it just came to me. It's a reasonable number for me to do in this time and space, and 28 of course has significance because it is the 28 days of the lunar month, which is signified on the turtle shell by these tabs that run around the outside of the shell. There are 28 of those tabs that run around the outside of the shell. Then there are 13 of these scales. So the turtle shell is the lunar year and month all in one. It has 28 days and 13 months in it. It's pretty amazing teaching. And I have been singing out here. My altar has very significant things on it pertaining to some of my issues that are going on right now, including my loaded pipe over there. The fact that the pipe is what's driving the entire ceremony. The very first thing we did was we lit the sacred fire, and then we loaded pipe. That's called a poggy. I hear Canadian honkers, wild geese. Right now there's a squirrel that's been visiting me too, besides the rabbit over here. And there's some animal living in the sweat lodge over there who was visiting me during the night. But so I'm gonna continue to work on the prayer ties here, the yellows and then the reds, and then I'll check back in. Okay, later in the evening, Thursday evening, got a nice little fire going on. I'm working on the yellow prayer ties. And I talk to myself while I'm doing all of this. And a lot of it is spirit talking through me. It's me talking to spirit. It's prayer. And it just occurred to me that, a lot of this stuff is really kind of valuable. And I'm going to forget about it unless I record it. I don't have a journal that I'm working on, but this video recording is like my journaling. I was talking to myself about how I was thinking about my old days when I was a philosophy student. And when I was a philosophy student, I was drawn to it, and I devoted my life to it. I was a philosophy major. I devoted my life to it because I was looking for answers. I was looking for the answer. And I took two classes that were particularly profound. One was an epistemology class. Epistemology means the study of truth, knowledge, and reality. How we know those things. The other class was a class in ethics and morality. What got me thinking about this was in the ethics class, my professor of that class, who I wasn't really fond of, but he made a really important comment to me once. I wrote a paper, and I spent a lot of time on that paper. A lot of thought went into it. And it's very uncommon for me to get a paper back that says, this paper is flawed. Reasoning is flawed. And the reason why he wrote that is because it seems to me that I was tasked with evaluating different ethical systems, and after doing a lot of thought and soul searching about it, I determined that the only way you could know what was right or to do was you just knew it. Sounds simplistic, right? He was trying to get me to evaluate it according to certain ethical systems. I don't know how many ethical systems we were exposed to. Over 10, probably 20. But I was looking at it like, okay, well, which of these ethical systems is the one that I want to use? And which one is right? Which one is true? And I couldn't determine from all of them which one was true, which one was the one that I'm supposed to use, which one is the one that I should use, or that I would choose to use. So I wrote that the way that I know what to do is I just know it. And how do we know it? We just know. We know it. Now, I was 24, 25 when I was studying this stuff, and I like to think that I'm a lot wiser now. But he said that reasoning was flawed, and I have since come to know that there is that kind of reasoning. It's called Gnostic knowledge. It's direct knowledge of the divine. It's when you pick up your pipe and the pipe speaks to you, that's just, you know it. It's what I was saying in my paper, and it wasn't flawed. He didn't lead me in the direction of Gnostic thought, of having an apperception of truth direct from the divine, so you know what absolute truth is. I remain skeptical to this day about absolute truth. I think even what we call absolute truth in that situation is still relative, but it fits in with the other class, the epistemology class. How do we know what's true? How do we know what's real? And what I came out of that class with was that we don't know. How do we know that anything is true? We don't. What is the answer? The answer is there is no answer. But the answer, that's the answer. The answer is that there is no answer. But if there's no answer, how could that be the answer? That's the answer. Okay, second day toward the evening. It's starting to get dark, getting a little cooler. I changed into warmer clothes. I finished with the prayer ties. Here they are. There's 28 of each color: black, white, yellow, and red. Lakota colors, depends on who you talk to, what the order is. This time, usually I follow Teton colors. This time I'm following it's Ed McGaw's colors is what I'm going to shortcut, I guess. Meaning that red is in the south and white is in the north. I'm doing it this time. My heart said just to do it this way, so that's why I'm doing it. Now I'm feeling trying to decide what I'm going to do with the prayer ties. One of the amazing things that I've learned from my teachers about making prayer ties is it's very multifaceted, multidimensional, but the main thing is that it's a meditative task. It's something that you have to do mindfully, and it absorbs your time, it absorbs your concentration, and so it's an excuse to meditate. The second important thing about it is that like Tibetan sand mandalas or mandalas, I don't know if you're familiar, but Tibetan monks will do these very elaborate geometric mandalas on the ground with different colored sands, and when they finish this very time-consuming project, they take a broom and they sweep it all away, and it goes into a container, and then it's dumped into the local creek or river. So it's supposed to be a lesson in how things are not to be hoarded, or you're not supposed to lust after your objects, your material objects. It's a teaching about materialism and about attachment. So I've gotten a little bit attached to these, and typically what you do at the end of a ceremony is you burn them in a fire. After the Sundance, they're burned in the fire. After a sweat lodge, they're burned in the fire. I don't want to burn these in the fire. If it comes to that, I will. In the meantime, I'm trying to decide what to do with them. Oh, there's the moon up there. I might drape them over my waluta back here, because these are all the prayers of this particular fast are in here. I might, on the other hand, put them on top of the small two-man lodge that the rabbit has been guarding. And by the way, he's been around all day long. Just at dusk now, he's taken off. He's gone back over to wherever his den is back there somewhere. But he really loves the inside of that lodge, the unused two-man lodge. And I may drape these over that because I'm trying to pray about the two-man lodge. I'm trying to pray that we can use it in a good way. It just doesn't sit there empty. And I think that's what I'm going to do. Aho,